If you just woke up and haven't paid attention to the baseball season, the Cleveland Indians are 2 games out in the Central with less than 60 games to go now, and they were one of the biggest buying teams at the trading deadline. Ubaldo Jimenez gets his Indians debut on Friday night and gets to start in Texas. Tough road trip right now for the Cleveland Indians. Started great with a win in Boston. They have 3 more games against the Red Sox tonight, tomorrow, and Thursday. They will face Josh Beckett tonight. Eric Bedard makes his Red Sox debut on Thursday. But then on Friday night, Ubaldo Jimenez will take on Holland in Texas. So they're in Boston and in Texas. You wrote an article about what they gave up. Before we get to that, what are Indians fans expecting from Ubaldo Jimenez? A lot of talk now that he's damaged goods, that Colorado was trying to get rid of him no matter what. Did the Indians make a mistake, do you think, or do you think that we're about to find out?
You know, I like the deal. I've liked the deal from the moment it was announced on Saturday, or that it really came down the pike on Saturday. Here was my thought on it. You know, there was an article on Yahoo Sunday, I believe it was Passon who wrote it, about, you know, how many, you know, of these big name, you know, prospect pitchers never work out. And, you know, I'm not thrilled about having to give up, you know, Alex White and Drew Pomeranz and Matt McBride, but you know what? This was a buyer's year, at least for the Indians. I mean, in the last 2-3 years, they've been the guys selling, and now finally this year, you know, they're buying. And I think Chris Antonetti, the general manager, spoke about that Sunday after the loss to Kansas City, about how, you know, this was a year where the Indians could really sell, and this was the, or I'm sorry, buy rather, and this was a year that they had some assets to do it. And while you don't want to give up a number 1 in Pomeranz or Alex White, there's no guarantee that these 2 guys are going to be, you know, the next Cliff Lee and CC Sabathia. You just don't know. And the Indians were willing to say, look, this is a guy in Ubaldo Jimenez who was the all-star starter last year for the National League. You know, yeah, he did have some issues, obviously, health-wise and everything else, but the Indians put him through an extensive physical on Sunday. Actually, from what we heard, it lasted from anywhere between 4 and 6 hours in Arizona, and they were pleased with what came out of it. So, you know, why not make the deal? Why not take a chance? You know, maybe next year the Indians don't play that well, and they're not even in a position to be a buyer. So why would you wait and, you know, sit there and go, well, we don't want to trade these guys now because we're afraid to make a deal, when you can go out there and make a deal, and you never know. What if Ubaldo Jimenez now for the next 2 years, or Jimenez rather for the next 2 years, ends up being a really, really good player for this ball club, and you never know, maybe a year and a half down the line they decide to make a deal and he stays here. I mean, I just think there's a lot of upside to this deal. And yeah, there certainly is a possibility that Jimenez doesn't work out. Alex White and Drew Pomeranz become the next CC Sabathia and Cliff Lee, and Indians fans are disgruntled about it. But you know what? I give Chris Antonetti the guts, if you will, to say, let's make a deal, and he did so, and I think it's a deal that I think it might pay off big time for him.